Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my Saturday morning photography talks. If it's Saturday morning, it must be photography talks. So today I'm going to talk about getting deals in places and naming your own price, because this just happened to me. So I'm in downtown in my town and I'm walking along and there's an easy pawn, which I'm not the biggest fan of how pawn shops work, but I do stop in and see if there are any film cameras that they don't really want to have in there because they don't even know what they are or why they're there. And most of the time the answer is, I don't have one. We don't have any. We don't take them in. And I know that. And I still ask because somehow they still end up in there. And as I walked in there, I saw this Nikon EL2, and it had this 28 millimeter lens on it, 28 2.8 little Series E plastic lens, and then it had this 85 f2 AI lens, and I thought, and a Boss Mickey Mouse strap, and I said, you have a couple of film cameras over there, and I didn't notice that the woman I was talking to, her tag said manager. And this said 185, and this 85 millimeter lens said 190. I'm like, why are those so expensive? Those don't go for that much. And she said, I didn't even want to take those in. I don't know. Somebody took those in. It wasn't my decision. I said, this one only fires at one shutter speed. No matter what shutter speed you put it on, if you put it on a quarter of a second, if you put it on a 500th of a second, you can hear it sounds the same. So I don't know if it's working or not. I suspected it just might be a battery, but it wasn't my job to explain what it might be. And I said, so, frankly, I'd give you $20 for it. And she said, okay, give me the 20. I just want it out of here. I'm like, really? And then I said, there was this lens, and there was also a Pentax 50 millimeter Super Tacumar 1.4. I said, I'll give you 30 for the pair of lenses. And she said, okay, I just want them gone. That's always a good line to hear when you hear somebody say, I just want them gone. That means they'll give it to you for anything you say. So for $30, I got two lenses, an 85 f2, which I love on this camera. This is like a whole system. And the Pentax 1.4, which I'll put on a SP body or something, is actually a bayonet mount. It's not a screw mount. And then I said, oh, what's that in this leather case? And I didn't bring this out right now, but it's there was a leather case, and it was all closed up. And she said that one came in with it too. It was a Minolta X700 in mint condition with a 51.7. I said, if you just want to get rid of that, I'll give you 20 for that too. And I didn't have a battery for it, and it didn't power on, but I was assuming I wouldn't lose too much. So in total, I spent $70. And I ended up with, I can give that X700 to somebody who wants to shoot an automatic camera. I'll keep this one in the car I just love the viewfinder in this, and I like the story behind it. It was a camera that was marked so much money, and it really wasn't worth any of that. But it's well worth $20. And this one is the one that preceded the FE. So it has an aperture priority mode. So in a sense, it's a simple aperture priority camera that's got a really strong, well-made meter, and everything works. I put a battery in, works great. It's an interesting thing. The battery, you have to put the mirror lockup on, and then when you lock the mirror up, the battery goes inside a compartment at the bottom of that chamber, which nobody, unless you were a aficionado of this camera, would know that. And I did put a battery in. All the shutter speeds work great. Aperture priority works great. And it's a great, inexpensive camera that you can find, but you have to ask. And this one was on display, and I named my own price. But do that. I said I wasn't going to spend the kind of money that they had listed for it. But you can name a price. And throw it away. I'd give you $20. And she's like, give me the 20. And those are kind of fun deals. Like, they end up being the kind of deals that, you talk about on videos like this because it's a fun score. And there are a lot of those film cameras out there, and like I said, the pawn shops don't want them, so they usually won't even take them. But if they end up with one somehow, that's how you can make a deal getting it out of their hands, because the first thing they want is that shelf space back and get that off there. And they don't know how to sell a film camera, and they don't even know how they work. They wouldn't know where that battery goes. They don't even know it has a battery. It's film. It's kind of beyond their ability to research all the different cameras. And the fact that they took it in, I picked up a Raleigh cord at a thrift store, or at a pawn shop. I picked up this one. I picked up an F100 Nikon that it said lens error on the readout. And I think it was marked $150. I said, I'll give you $30 for it or something, I forget. And it says lens error. And he said, okay, just get it out of here. And then I put a lens on it, and then it was fine. It was just not reading a lens. And I kind of suspected that. You can find those deals, but they don't know what that equipment does or how it works, and you do. And you can name your own price. So do that and get a deal. And then write your comments below how you've scored. All right, that's today's photography talk. Buying more cameras than I need. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. But I share them with people. If you can support, hit the Patreon, and thanks so much for watching. I'll be back next week. We'll talk photography. As always, here's the good light.